trial wrapped up today, and that's going to be done tomorrow. And there were some really interesting things that happened with that I'm not probably going to get into tonight, simply because tomorrow's the last day of everything here that all wraps up, and I really don't want to give away anything that I plan on doing tomorrow, or start counting my chickens before they hatch, and making things worse for myself, because we all know they listen to everything that I say or do, and they really want me staying off the airwaves, and everything they've done to me was just kind of like a, hey, we can do this, so shut your mouth, because we're sick and tired of you talking to everybody and making this movement popular, and taking it away from all the nutcases out there and the freaks that make us all look bad, and the common man being able to say, hey, yeah, you know what, this kind of makes sense, and yeah, you're right, I do have rights, and I am tired of the government. So
what do you have to deal with tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow, actually, we just had a little 3 or 4 day trial on all the charges that didn't go very well for them at all. I'm still unconvicted of anything, and it's really not looking like they're going to get anything tomorrow at all either. It went really, really bad for them, and I probably shouldn't get into a whole lot of it, but I've definitely been talking with a few of Carl's buddy over the last week or two about a lot of things, and I will tell you, if you know, people have to realize that in the last 15 years, I've been around for every concept that's come up, every concept that people have tried in law and developed and tried in court. We've tried everything. We've done everything, and I've won using every one of these arguments before in the past. There's no shortage of different theories out there, and what's really interesting is a lot of stuff that I was teaching and talking about years ago to do with the trust stuff and equity. Every single aspect of the stuff that we were teaching years ago with the trust law and the equity is completely convertible to what the stuff that Carl's doing. It's just a much more simplified version of it. It's a one page reduced to less than one sentence to keep it simple, 2 syllables or less. And you're not getting into that the legalese stuff with them. I mean, we became great at mimicking what they were doing, and just being a monkey and throwing the stuff right back at them, right, and just getting these poo-flinging contests that messed everything up, and everything would disappear, and they didn't, you know, it's just, boy, like I say, it's, but all the concepts are the same. All the concepts of law are exactly the same. That's all equity and legalese is anyways, is they made the law very, very complicated. They made their own very complex, complicated version of the law that's only for them within their system, so only they can understand it. That's what Babel is, right? That's what confounding the language is, just taking something simple, making it exceedingly difficult so that everybody thinks that you're some kind of a god, calling yourself a lawyer, and then convincing everybody that they have to use you when they go to court because it's something so complicated they possibly couldn't understand it, when really it's just a couple of words you need to know if you really knew the proper words to use, who you are, what your rights are, and just not being able to be bullshitted by the courts. That's bottom line what this all comes down to as well, is do you even believe in what you're doing? Do you believe it? Are you going to stand by it, or are you going to fold? And if you even start to fold, like, I mean, they stare right at you, these judges, they stare right at you when you're talking. And even when you're sitting there and you're listening to other people in the courtroom talk, they're watching your face. They're looking to see what, like, does this guy believe? Is he confident? Is he, like, does this guy look like he's about to bolt out of the door in fear? Like, they can smell fear, just like a dog. And the minute you show any fear, or that you don't really believe in what you're doing, or you're about to fold, they will pressure you until you fold. And as soon as you fold and snap and you start believing their bullshit, it's done. It's over. You're finished.
I think that's what we mean when we say you got to know who you are before you go in there. Did you have a question for Karl? Or?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I've been kind of listening off and on tonight. I'm not sure what I have in the way of questions. I'm not really sure where they've, again, like, I mean, I was in jail for 16 months, and when I don't even think, I know I'd heard of Karl. I can't remember if we even spoke once or twice before I went into jail. Like I say, 16 months in jail kind of messes with your mind a little bit, and I can't even remember half the people I spoke with beforehand. It was a little bit of a blur before I went to jail. But I read some of his stuff while I was in jail, and I just basically said to everybody, yeah, this guy is saying exactly what we have been trying to say. using equitable terms, but he's saying it in just real simple, no bullshit, one-sentence lines. No, property, give it back. Property, give it back. Property, give it back. Property, give it back. And just keep saying that and repeating it over and over and over again. And don't believe these pieces of shit in the courtroom, anything that they try to sell you. And when they figure out that that's, and again, we did a lot of research on the law merchant court stuff. And when everybody was saying, I got a couple of pages sent to me of some of Karl's stuff while I was in jail, and, it had little captions in there about repeat 3 times, repeat 3 times, repeat 3 times. I started laughing. I said, well, of course, that's just law merchant court stuff. In the law merchant court, when you say something once, it's construed as a mistake. When you say it the second time, it's deemed a coincidence. So they just write it off. But when you say something a third time, that's a pattern. That means you really meant it. That's the magic number 3 in the law merchant's court. That's all that is. And so I was like, yeah, it's exactly why it's working. As soon as you express your will 3 times, you mean it. Whether it's a law merchant court, a common law court, it doesn't matter. That's your will. And when you're saying property, that's my property, now you're saying I'm the owner. When you're the owner, your will is the law. It's the will of the owner. That's who makes the law regarding property. So when you walk into a court and you say, I have done no wrong, there's no man or woman here making a claim against me, so I've done no wrong, you got the common law angle covered, and that's my property. So in equity, you're saying, I make the laws when it comes to that property. Nobody has a higher equitable standing than me. So, because in most of these courts, especially international law, law merchant courts, it really doesn't matter. Equity always trumps the common law. There's only very few circumstances where common law trumps equity. So equity is always the top. So you got that covered when you walk in, you say, no, that's my property, and I've done no wrong. So you're saying, no, I own all the equity, and I've done no wrong in common law. Who could I possibly have to answer to? And you wrap everything right up. And now apparently people are doing it in 1 or 2 sentences, where we used to do that with 20 or 30-page documents, which was just, oh my God, I don't ever want to have to do that shit ever again. I'm so fucking tired of it. It's just sickening to think about it.
So after you win your case tomorrow, you can come back and fill us in. I'll schedule you on as a guest speaker, and you can give us all the lowdown.
Remember, we're dealing with murderers and rapists here, so you could be as right as rain, but if you're too popular and they just want you gone, they'll just rape you for 16 months and throw you away no matter what, just to teach you a lesson, right? Like Bill Turner there, Slobodan Milosevic, they didn't like that guy a whole lot. Watch that guy's trial at The Hague. That guy, Milosevic, destroyed the court. They didn't know what the hell to do with the guy, so they kept him in jail for 6 months, and then they killed him in jail to shut him up. He destroyed that court. Unbelievable watching that guy in court. That guy knew what he was doing. That guy knew what it meant to be an elected leader of a society, of a nation, and that no court had any authority over him whatsoever, period. It's amazing watching that trial. So they killed the fucker.
Yeah.
Dean, it's Karl's calling. He's available. So if you have any questions for him, ask him some questions if you want anything, any feedback from him.
Yeah, definitely. Oh boy, let's see. What is a good question? That'd be good for everybody and myself.
Maybe elocution.
Yeah, you know what? Allocution is not terribly applicable in Canada. I mean, I know a little bit about allocution, and it's mostly an American thing that's not really practiced in Canada a whole lot. They might have a different word for it. It seems mostly just like it's the closing arguments to any case, though. So allocution, sure.
It's what you say before.
We can talk about that, but I'd like to know what most people have got back to him with, what the biggest problem or headache has been, or the most unsuccessful parts that he's been teaching with people that people are having the most trouble with in the courts, either in Canada or the United States.
Okay, well, like I said, the big thing is this equity. If you actually study equity, I'll literally read it out of a book right now. It's a name of a court exercising jurisdiction at law, but mainly in equity. Common law judges consider equity arbitrary and a royal encroachment on the power of an independent judiciary. Okay? It says renowned 17th century judge John Sheldon called equity a roguish thing and noted that results in equity cases might as well depend on the size of the chancellor's foot. Okay, equity is just an interpretation of a man over another man. And I don't want to live based upon somebody else's opinion, what somebody else believes, what is fair and what is just. I'll tell you what is fair and what is just, and you will bring another man into this room, and you will have the other man say that what I'm doing is not fair and it's not just to him. I don't care what society's opinion is, and I certainly don't care what a legal judge's opinion is if what I'm doing is fair or just. I don't care. I'm going to call you out man to man. I want to know some man who's saying that what I'm doing is not fair, that I breached an agreement, I'm breaching a contract. Show me. So, like I said, equity makes things too complicated. It's when everybody says, well, look, Bob, got it this way, and Joe, we did it this way for Joe, so why don't we do it that way for you too? It's only fair. Let's make it all equal. I don't believe in equality. I like not being equal. I don't want everything to be, like a code world. Like everything's like, well, you know what? We got to make it fair and equal for everybody. Everybody gets this. No, I'm going to work harder. I'm going to work longer. I'm going to work better. I'm going to work smarter. I'm going to get more than you. I'm going to capitalize. I'm going to take advantage of your shortcomings. And that's what capitalize means.